Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 111-110, and the Lakers lost at home to the Dallas Mavericks at the buzzer. At the buzzer, y'all. Uh, this was a heartbreaker of the highest order. Um, Very stressful throughout, and at the end of the game, your heart was ripped right out your soul. That was the worst way to lose a game in the worst circumstance, because this is one of the teams that we're fighting against. um, Trying to battle our way into the playoffs. We had fortuitous situations work out, so that can help. Pelicans lost, Timberwolves lost, so those things kind of help us. But we didn't help ourselves by beating Dallas, and therefore Dallas moves up and, of course, wins the season series on us, just in case there's a tiebreaker. I really think that this game was bad from the jump. I don't think we came out with the right energy. I think we came out with some of what it was I was telling you guys about, where I felt like guys just didn't really believe in what they were doing. The leadership at the top kind of wasn't making the right decision by not bringing in a center and letting them lose to the Rockets in the way that we did. And then from there, I think the team's confidence was a bit shaky. They didn't really know how they wanted to approach it. They didn't really know how they wanted to kind of handle the pressure of the circumstances, especially since it was coming back into this building. We know how anxious this building can be for a lot of players. So I thought we got off to a little bit of a timid start, and as a result, our defense was trash, particularly from behind the arc, allowing 6 out of 8 threes to start the game, and it really allowed us to get into a hole. Now, we were able to dig ourselves out of that hole, but it's just a lot of key mistakes that we made. First of all, when you miss free throws to the level that we did, you're not going to win many basketball games in the NBA. I do believe the Lakers shot somewhere like from like it had to be 61% from the free throw line or something like that. AD missed 3 free throws. Austin Reeves missed three free throws. Wenyen Gabriel missed 3 free throws. It was just a real bad team effort from the line. And when you get to the line 31 times or somewhere around there, either way, you get that many times, you leave that many points on the board, and you end up losing by one. That tells you all you need to know about your night. I think we made some mistakes in regards to how we rotated tonight. I'm one to always get on the case of coach for leaving us without size, and tonight he's no exception. I just felt like it's a lot of things to look at. First of all, Malik Beasley, we talked a lot about it at halftime, how I truly believe that we're just at a disadvantage size-wise when we go with him if he's not absolutely hot from behind the arc. Now, when he's hot, he can blow a game open, hit 8 and 9 threes. We've seen him do it twice. He changes games completely. But when he's not hot, you're relying on his other intangibles to kind of get you by. And while he's a very smart player in regards to helping teams, in fact, he's better than a lot of players that shoot like he does in situations like this. Because tonight, I thought he did pretty good in terms of driving at the rim and getting us some really easy buckets, which I thought our team needed to focus more so on. So within that mindset, I thought he was a leader on the floor as it pertains to attacking the Dallas Mavericks the way we needed to. He had it right. But you leave him down there to defend. He's a lesser defender, man. You got him going up against some really talented offensive players. It's just not going to be very good for him. And so that's one aspect of it. I usually complain about, and I did at the halftime, the fact that he doesn't rebound the ball like that very much. But he had 5 boards, so it's not really about him not rebounding very much. It's just about him being at a size disadvantage. So even though he can rebound where he cannot rebound, it's usually an easy board given up because of the size mismatch of him and other players that may be on the floor that just don't make up a big enough team against the guys they're going up against. So these are certain disadvantages, and it's like he's not really particularly a playmaker, although he can make plays for others. So it's little things like that. It's just like, okay, if I can't put him in front of a guy like Kyrie Irving and he's not making shots on the other end, and we're at a size disadvantage for having him down there, it's like, where's the positive in this? It's not a whole lot of positive. But like I said, he made a good game out of it by being smart, attacking the rim, and rebounding where he was able to. So with what he did, what he was given, he did good with. But I just felt like we were at a disadvantage putting him down there in the first place. With him missing threes, for which it didn't fall tonight at all. It didn't fall. I think it was 0 for 3. So then I look at Rui Hachimura. Rui Hachimura had 16 minutes tonight. 4 out of 6 from the field. 2 out of 2 from the three-point line. 2 steals. So my thing is, I always complain that I don't really like Rui on the defensive side, but he gave me 2 steals. And his shot is falling. So why isn't he on the floor? 16 minutes when you need size, and the guy is actually hitting shots and playing well, and you just don't go to him? Help me out here. And then I look over at Wenyen Gabriel, played amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the only thing I can say to myself is, I was right. All year long when I was telling everybody we need to play Wenyen Gabriel and play him a lot, because a lot of good things happen when you see him on the floor, and he's going to help you. And in the third quarter, you saw him shine. And it just made me feel vindicated all this time in telling people we need to play Wenyen Gabriel. And he was excellent. And when he wasn't on the floor, we didn't play as well. I thought Anthony Davis was aggressive, pretty efficient from the floor. But when you get to the free throw line and you miss 3 free throws, that contributes to the overall team's detriment. And then the way he closed out on a 3-point shot down the stretch of that basketball game. Amateur stuff, brother. Amateur stuff. I didn't think he played a very smart game as it pertains to handling his fouls tonight. You don't foul in the way that he fouled tonight. In a game like this, and when you need to win, some of the fouls that he was picking up, not very focused, man. Not very focused for the challenge we had at hand. I thought Anthony Davis only played like a leader in pockets at a time of this game. When I needed him to step forward 100% of the time, I think he gave me a good leadership AD about 70% of the time. And I think we lost by 1. You can see that's the difference. He needs to step forward and be a bit better, just a bit more polished overall. You know, he gave me good play. I need a little more. And I just didn't see the aggressiveness from him that I needed. And then D'Lo. We've been singing D'Lo's praises, but we got a bad game out of D'Lo. Unfortunately, this was a bad one. No 3-point shots hit tonight. 5 out of 17 shooting. Not a whole lot going on there, man. He did get some assists going, definitely helped with that. I think he walked out of there with like 7 or 8 assists, so we appreciate the continuity. But ultimately, it just wasn't there, and he shot a lot. And when you have that many missed shots with him shooting from behind the arc in the way that he did, and then you look at Malik Beasley 0 for 3, you just don't see the production that you need from the guys that he leaned on so much. And then you look at the bench players that he leaned on as kind of seldom, and you see where the production was actually there. So it was basically that kind of thing, honestly. You look up, I think it was probably midway through the fourth quarter when I was checking the stats in this way, but everybody who was on the bench with lesser minutes were pluses in the plus minus, and everybody that Darvin was leaning on was minus in the plus minus. It was just like, yo, this is a horrible reflection of the same thing that we've been talking about the whole time. It's just what he leans on. What Darvin truly believes in is literally the opposite of what he usually should be doing. And it just reflects in what it is that you see down there, man. And that, I don't think, was the full overall contributor to why the Lakers lost, because you can't miss free throws the way that we did, and he doesn't control that in any way. Guys get to the line, either they make them or they miss them, and that's why we lost, because we missed so many of them. But I thought our perimeter defensive approach was terrible. The way that we approached the way they shot the ball, leaving players open to take certain shots, not basically closing out properly, just a lot of bad all night long defensively around the perimeter. I thought we did good things in transition, though. We got some steals early. We were sending them the other way. I thought we were getting the fast break okay. But, Kyrie Irving, 38 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and a game-winning assist under pressure. I didn't think he was going to have enough time. You know what I mean? When we had closed out on him, I thought our guys did a fantastic job on him. I think it was Dennis Schroeder and maybe Wenyen Gabriel. I don't remember who it was that was tracking him out there. But they did a fantastic job on him. But he had just enough time, a millisecond, to get a chest pass off to Maxi Kleber. And Maxi Kleber let that thing go like Robert Horry, man. He looked like Robert Horry against the Sacramento Kings, and he let that thing off. And my thing was, it was certain situations down there where it's like, okay, Kyrie Irving is just going to score in certain situations. I found myself saying that maybe around the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter, where he had just had the ball in a position where he had a single coverage, just one man on him, and about 15 feet of space. And I said to myself, we're down by 8. Even though the score told us we were down by 6, I'm like, he's going to score in this situation every single time. And he did. He scored right on him. I think the person who was on him was Malik Beasley. He just laid the ball up right over the man. It might not have been Malik. It might have been DS. I don't remember. But the point is, it's just like the type of way we approach guarding Kyrie Irving throughout the first 3 quarters, I just don't think was effective enough. I thought we closed out on him and built a wall around him in the fourth quarter, and down the stretch in the final minute, I think we did a good job on him. But I mean, at the end of the day, you didn't do what you needed to do throughout the course of the game to give yourself a real chance. You miss free throws, you play bad defense around the perimeter, and they're giving up 3-point shots. Give credit to the Dallas Mavericks, who shot the ball exceptionally well all night long from behind the arc, taking advantage of the fact that we were playing off of them. Was it drop coverage? I don't read defenses very well, so I would imagine somebody else would have to tell me if what we were looking at was drop coverage. But it is something that you have to ask, in regards to if our approach is drop coverage and this is the result, should we not make the change now with 11 games left? These are the type of things I just say, this is why you can't lose games like the Rockets. This is why you can't lose games like all the other embarrassing losses that we've had throughout the course of this year, where we've given up leads down the stretch of the game, mismanaged the clock, didn't call timeouts, stupid stuff. This is why you don't allow yourself to take possessions off throughout the course of the season, ever. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be fighting for your life at the end of the season, and some games you just aren't going to win. It doesn't matter how it looks on paper. Once you see the ball tip up, you understand that the game's going to go a certain way, and if you don't meet the challenge of that night, you're just not going to win that matchup. It shouldn't be the end of the world, but when you take possessions off and you play stupid all year long and you lean on people you have no business playing, not developing people that you ultimately will be leaning on, here you find yourself in a situation where you don't have on the floor who you need on the floor because of it, and when the time comes, you're just going to go down. And that's what happened. That's what happened. I'm going to tell you the truth. My humble opinion, the Los Angeles Lakers were too conservative with their young players this year. We wanted too much to lean in on things that had very little to do with helping our team win early season basketball games, because we automatically assumed that we were going to be able to make a trade, and with that trade, we were going to be able to turn it on and get going. And that was not a smart way of playing it, just like so many other things that we've pointed out throughout the season. And now here we are, having lost at the buzzer to the Dallas Mavericks team in a situation where we really cannot afford to lose any more basketball games. Luka Doncic wasn't on the floor, and we still got beat. And so, there's going to be a lot of angry Laker fans, man. When you look at all them free throws that we missed tonight, when you look at the fact that they didn't add a center in the way that we played against the Houston Rockets, when you look at the Knicks miss out, on the win in regards to the Knicks, and all these different games, there's going to be some people who are just completely deflated tonight. And for me, I'm just sitting here like, my mind goes a lot of different ways, because I told you guys about how I felt about this whole Kyrie Irving announcement and how they were going to tell the world that they didn't want Kyrie Irving. And my thing is, I don't know how that works negotiation-wise. From where I'm sitting, it doesn't look good when you're telling the world that you're going to go with the guy that's on your team, who's basically at the same price as the other guy, months and months ahead of time before the season even ends. You don't know what's going to happen between now and then. So when you make those type of declarations just in general, it seems a bit premature to me, especially when you're talking about the type of money that's going to be floating around. I just didn't see the negotiation positive in regards to this from the Laker point of view. So from where I'm sitting, I did not think that the Lakers probably even released that information. But when all the Laker talk people start bringing that information as the forefront of the conversation, I think, well, maybe it is coming from the organization and maybe they have an angle on this that I don't see. The problem is, the only angle that I do see is The idea that you just told D'Angelo Russell that he can raise his price all the way up to wherever he wants to go because the leverage is in his pocket, given the fact that you've chosen him over the competition, who we know is trying to leverage his way here, and you're essentially slamming the door on that player, and you have to play him the next game. Like literally the same day you're releasing this information, this player is coming into your building. And we, having been the home of Kobe for the last 20 years, should know a little bit about firing up a killer and letting a player with that type of skill set know that your intentions are to disrespect him. Least of all when he's fighting for his playoff life. So for me, it was just like, I'm watching this game as a basketball fan and as somebody who is worried about just kind of how things kind of go with the universe a little bit. You know, I'm just watching this and I'm like, I've seen this movie too many times, man. I know that guy comes back and kills us in the end because we had no business doing that. There was no real good energy behind, hey, we don't want Kyrie Irving. What the hell did that do? Other than give him a bad day and essentially raise the price on the guy that we do have. And then we send him out there, D'Lo, look how bad he played. It's like, it's just bad energy, Lakers. I hate to tell you this. I know people believe strongly that Kyrie Irving has done a lot of offensive stuff. I believe that a lot of people are still very much offended by him. And I don't know if he has to make that right or not. I don't know. But what I'm saying is the stuff that's going on around him has just not been very good. And so when I see stuff like this, I just think this is a part of that. Like, you see how it played out, Lakers? Do you see? I don't know. Maybe it's something to that. Maybe it's not. But all game long, I just anticipated this. I did. All game long, from the opening tip-off, I just knew Kyrie Irving was going to beat us. And I was praying it wasn't going to happen. And I was praying it wasn't going to happen. And all throughout the game, I'm sitting there, and as the time is expiring, I'm seeing us miss free throw after free throw, and I'm just like, we are allowing a moment maker to have a moment on our floor. And do you know what that is? That's Staples Center. That's purple and gold. That's him trying to get his contract. That's him trying to vindicate himself for all the stuff that's happened in the Nets and everything in the vaccine. This is a moment that you're creating for this guy to just have a signature time in his career right on your home floor. And I just knew that it was set up so perfectly for it. The whole psychology of it all was just set up for him to rip our heart out. And sure enough, having been on this earth 38 years and watched this game for 30 of them, it played out exactly the way I knew it would. And here I am telling you all, I'm not surprised, but I am very much exhausted, because that is exactly how that felt to watch. It was exhausting. You knew your team was making mistakes. You knew they were backing themselves into a situation where they were going to get their heart broke, and you watch them slowly run right into the wall that you see them running into all season long. And you see the hope and the hunger and the fight in the team dissipate overnight because of a franchise decision not to apply size to a game that must be won against the Houston Rockets. And that is when they lost the focus of the team, y'all. That's when they lost them. When you decide to go into certain games and you know that your team doesn't have enough, it's hard to get up for those games, especially when everybody's demanding that you win. The pressure's already too much. And then the team's just going to say, nah, we don't want to do it. What do you mean you don't want to do it? We need this. Nah. So what are players going to do? What are 25-year-olds going to do in a situation like that? It's like, I just don't know what the Lakers are thinking, but I do believe that they're not thinking at all. And that's what it's become for me. I think people are thinking about the wrong stuff. I think it might be some Trojan horse energy in there that people are trying to create stuff like, oops, I don't mean that for that to happen. That kind of stuff is probably happening in our organization. And I've been thinking this the whole time. And it's just incompetence on top of magical awesomeness, which is like our trade that we just got. These trades got us all these young kids, and then you just see the ineptitude of the coach. And it's just like, I just really need the campiness. It's a lot of campy energy. A lot of just, maybe we'll pay attention today, maybe we'll pretend to pay attention, but kind of just tell people that, we are here for excellence, but kind of not really be detail oriented. All of that campiness. Hey, let's have the great event. Hey, let's put on the culture of the Lakers, but not actually bring forth the winning. It's like, it's corny, yo. If you want to know what it is, it's just the corniness. It used to be culture when it was greatness attached to it. Now it's just corny. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm seeing, is corniness. It's the best way I know how to describe it. People are not serious about what it is that they're doing. They're just going out there telling people they are and sending athletes out there to lose. And so I look at LeBron James sitting there in all black, and I remember the last time he came to the arena wearing all black, he was pretty much done with us. It seemed. It looked like we weren't going to make trades. It looked like everything was going left. And he wore all black. And I'm telling you, when you see the organization do what they did against the Houston Rockets, if you're LeBron James, you're back to square one wondering if they're really all in for you. Because that's the only thing left to think. When your team doesn't get what it needs to put themselves in a position to even make the damn playoffs. So you have a team to come back to. Now, I saw the exchange he had with Anthony Davis. I don't know what they were talking about, but it seemed to be demonstrative. I ain't never seen him have as much of an argument with Anthony Davis. But right there in the middle court, that was a demonstration of some sort. LeBron James is trying to help us understand that he's tired of people. He wants some things changing. And people that he's been cool with or whatever, everybody got to make some different changes. So he going to be out. I'm reading the writing on the wall. He ain't got to tell me. I know what that language. I speak that language myself. It's the same language that Michael Jordan was speaking when he sat at the end of that bench and put his head down. And then a couple days later, the team is up for sale. I know that language. I speak all that. Kyrie Irving was in the house and all that whole situation. Everybody knows he wants Kyrie on this team. And the Lakers going to tell us a game before this Kyrie comes in the building that they don't want the kid. He knows, like I know, we just lit a fire underneath Kyrie Irving and probably got ourselves shot down. He knew that before the game just like I did. Type of stuff. It's like the organization doesn't know how to succeed, man. They're doing things that are kicking their own behind. You have to wonder if it's on purpose. You have to wonder because it's so damn stupid. I mean, what else is there to say? Even national media is confused by the decision making of this front office right now. And so for me, it's like, look, I can look at the coach and say, yo, you played Malik Beasley too much. Maybe you shouldn't have put him on Kyrie Irving. He wouldn't have had 38 points if we would have put Vanderbilt on him a bit more. You know what I mean? I think it's only so much. You got to look at the players tonight. Free throws, brothers. And you overshot the three, 5 of 20 from behind the arc. I don't think the attempts is too bad, but I think that the efficiency was terrible. I don't know what to say, man. We just got to attack on the inside more. Dallas ain't got no centers. We didn't attack. We let Christian Wood have all kinds of defensive stats tonight. You think who was he, Mutombo tonight? He had 4 steals, a block, bunch of rebounds. I don't like none of that. I told y'all he was going to play well, but he didn't need to have no double-double with defensive stats. It's not, no. Got to give credit to Davis Bertans, who hit some big threes throughout the course of that game. I don't think they win that game without him shooting. Tim Hardaway Jr., how can I forget? He was killing us all dang night. Got to give him his credit. Reggie Bullock continued his hot shooting from the previous matchup. Carried it into our building. Dallas gets the credit, man. Of course, Kyrie gets the game ball for killing us all night long and making the awesome pass to Maxi Kleber to shoot us down. I'm a deflated Laker fan, but I just know that I was. If there's anything for me to take from this, it's just understanding that you really can't leave certain players bulletin board material. You can't do that. That's what I took from this basketball game. Granted, we had opportunities to win it. That's not why we lost it. But nevertheless, games go a certain way. You're going to have games where you miss free throws. There's going to be games where you shoot bad from behind the arc. And at the end of the day, you're going to come down to those final moments. And if you're going against those type of players, you had better damn sure make sure you don't make those moments happen for them. That's what it comes down to. You watch enough basketball over the years, you see enough of these killing type players, you do not leave them any opportunity to kill you. Kyrie Irving had 4 fouls throughout almost the whole fourth quarter. Picked up his 5th foul With 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, we did not get him fouled out, and he had the game-winning assist. He never fouled out. How many times have I brought that up on this channel? The Shane Battier conversation? Remember that in the playoffs? He had 5 fouls up, damn near the whole fourth quarter, ended up winning the game winner on us. We learned the lesson again tonight, Lakers. If you're old enough to remember that, we learned that lesson again tonight. Get people in foul trouble, get them out of the game. You got to hunt them and get them out. Their coach subbed him out with 3 minutes to go just for one possession so that we couldn't pick up a defensive foul on him. They did not do that on the second possession. He had an opportunity to, and we didn't make him pay for it. He didn't sub him out. It was like 2 minutes to go with the free throw line. We should have made Jason Kidd pay for that by attacking Kyrie Irving and drawing that 6th foul. It would have saved the game for us. It would have simply saved the game. So these are the type of things I'm just paying attention to, a little detail-oriented stuff that we did not focus on. You know? It's so much, man. Troy Brown, I thought he shot pretty well. But, you know, you look at the stats and he just didn't give you enough. You need more. I need more. Vanderbilt, I didn't get enough. Was it like 4 boards? I need more, man. I don't know how to judge Vanderbilt. Am I unhappy with what I'm seeing? I don't know, but I don't think he's playing better up to his level right now. I think for the last 4 or 5 games, he hasn't been giving us his best, and I think he might be fighting back a little injury, maybe a little ankle or something like that. He's always playing above the air, you know, in midair, so he's probably coming down a lot. He's probably not healing properly. So I give him the benefit of the doubt, but I just don't think I'm getting enough from him as of right now. Not under these circumstances. He got to play bigger. I thought Wenyen Gabriel gave me a lot of what I needed there, and I was very pleased with Wenyen. But, you know, Dennis Schroeder played pretty well. I don't know if the efficiency was where it needed to be, but I thought he was extremely aggressive all night long. You know, Austin was very, very good. You know, I thought most of the players had a good floor game. You know, shooting the ball, field goal percentage, all that, they were okay. It's just when it came down to shooting the 3, negative. And when it came to shooting the free throw, everybody missed. All of the players who attempted shots missed at least 1 or 3, or it's just like, and the ones that hurt are the ones that we missed that were technicals. They had like 3 technicals that we missed, all of which would have won the game for us. All of them. So that's it, man. This is a super depressing night for Laker fans. We may have missed the playoffs. We say that after every loss, but the losses are actually piling up. Do you know that we've lost 3 out of the last 4 games? Yeah. The Knicks game, the Rockets game, and this game. We've only had 1 game in between that. I think it was the Memphis game, was it not? Or did we play somebody else? I don't remember, but it was only 1 win in between those 4 games. And I don't honestly think any of those teams are better than us. Are the Knicks really better than us without Jalen Brunson? Hell no. Not really. Not at all. You know, and it's just like, going down the line. We can look at tonight. Are they really better than us without Luka Doncic? No. They're not. Are the Rockets, man, I'm not. Let's just not. Team got 18 tonight. They won their game. And they beat somebody we needed them to beat, ironically enough, and we didn't take advantage of it. It was New Orleans. 3rd straight for them. So it's like I am of the mindset that the Los Angeles Lakers may just actually lose the next game too, man. We got the Orlando Magic coming in. That team is extremely long. Last time we played them, I was of the mindset that they were just going to beat us with their size. And it didn't happen. They played like a bunch of young kids who didn't know where they were at or where they were going, and it was right on time for us because we were able to get a pretty easy victory against a bunch of players that I thought were a lot better than they were that day. I ain't did no homework on them, but it is almost a whole season later, and those kids are healthy, and they're all being used a little more than they were that day. Your Franz Wagner and your Paolo Banchero, they're healthy. You know, all their guards are back now. Fultz is playing super at this point. Anthony's now been healthy for a little while. Bol is now healthy, even though they're not usually using him as much. I think Carter's now healthy. So they got their horses, man. And they're very big. Imagine that. A team where you'll actually need another big to be able to match up properly against them. So this is a situation where I'm like, those are a bunch of 7-footers. 250 guys that can all dribble the ball. I don't have any reason to believe that we're going to be able to trot in there with the same rotation we had today and have any more success than we get against this Dallas team. Nah, because they're going to attack us like Houston did on the inside with Paolo Banchero, one of the best scorers in the world. And Franz Wagner, also one of the best scorers in the world. So I don't like that matchup. I don't like that matchup for this team who looks deflated, who looks like that part of their heart has been snatched out of them. They didn't have a whole lot of heart in this game to begin with, but they did find some in the fourth quarter, and I thought we were trying to rally around one another based on the urgency. But when you see a team get beat the way they got beat tonight, I don't know what they're going to have for that next game. I don't know what they're going to have for Orlando, y'all. I'm just going to keep it 100%. I don't know. These are the type of games that sometimes just break your spirit. They really can. I think we got some hardcore fighters on this team. But what they're up against, it's a lot, man. And when you consider who they just lost to, I don't think it gets a lot easier than this. You got Orlando. You got Phoenix. Those are your matchups coming up. Then you got, if I'm not mistaken, 2 matchups with the Bulls. I think we can win 3 out of 4. I really do. If we can get in here and get this Orlando matchup out the way. I don't like us against Phoenix, even though they don't have KD. The way they've been playing, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough for us to beat them. But, Chicago ain't nobody. We can get Chicago. We should be able to get Chicago even under these circumstances. But the problem is, they do have some stars over there who playing super well right now. 39 points for Levine tonight. I think DeMar DeRozan had like 48. In overtime, double overtime, they beat the Timberwolves for us. So it's like we didn't handle our business, man. We didn't handle our business. And so I'm of the mindset, I'm just deflated. I don't even know. I would love to have more animated energy and be all angry and stuff. But this has been a long season with a lot of ups and downs. And this front office just took the wind out of our sails, man. That's what they did. They had a big old happy parade and they just rained all over it by just being themselves. Just being themselves. Not being thorough. Man, it trickles down to everything else after that, man. And people just stop believing. And you see what you saw tonight, man. The team didn't have it to start. They were kind of trying to find it. They found it. And that kind of trying to find it part, that we couldn't afford. We couldn't afford that. Not under the circumstances we're in, not needing to win this game. We needed to be sharp throughout. This needs to be playoff time, everybody on the string. We know each other. Let's win. Not, do we want to fight? Are we in it? Some of these guys can really go, but do I trust this guy? If putting him in the game again, that's the kind of energy we had tonight. Can't win that way. Can't win that way. Especially going up against the type of team that we did, where they were playing loose. Kyrie Irving was on the floor. You know what I mean? It was a lot of good shooting going on from everybody. Players who you thought weren't playing did play. Stuff like that. You knew it was going to be like that because we're the Lakers and everybody wants to come back from injury against us. So Kyrie was going to play. Hardaway was going to play. It was just, and well at that. So that's what happened, man. Got to give Green his credit. Hardy his credit. They didn't play as much and as I intended, as I was speaking, as I thought they would rather, but that was because Kai did play and Tim Hardaway played. That's why. But they still made their impact out there. Wow, man. What can I say, y'all? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think I'm all out of words for this one. The Los Angeles Lakers just lost a basketball game they couldn't afford to lose for the second straight game. I don't know how that works for us mathematically, as we talked about a little earlier. Everybody around us tends to have a more difficult schedule than us, but what does that mean if we're losing these type of games? What does that mean if we're losing Luka Doncic-less games, Brunson-less Knicks games, Rockets games? I mean, we're losing games against teams that are not even of playoff caliber, y'all. This is not who they're going to be if they happen to make the playoffs. They're going to need Luka Doncic to even win a game in the playoffs. So it's like, I know we're down Bron, but AD was out there. D'Lo was out there. What is the problem? How do we lose to a team that doesn't even have interior presence? All they doing is shooting threes all night. Why did we shoot so many? The last time we played the Dallas Mavericks, we attacked them repeatedly, over and over and over and over again in the paint. Why didn't we attack them the same way tonight? We shot 23s, but I didn't see the aggressiveness I needed to see. 23s is like a very low amount, which I'm happy with since we weren't hitting them. But if we're only shooting 23s, where's all the paint points? Where's the rest of the production? It was nowhere. It was absolutely nowhere. One and dones. And we did win the rebound total, I'll give us that. But they were hitting shots. They were hitting their shots. It wasn't a whole lot for them to rebound. So I'm like, man, maybe I'll have better way to respond from this. To respond to this later, maybe I'll respond a little better. Maybe I'll have a little more words, kind of sum up what it is I'm thinking. I don't want to overstate this because the teams who did lose tonight lost, and it helped us. The Warriors lost, so a lot of teams kind of helped us. We caught a break. I think that really cushions the blow to some degree, but it's just about who you're losing to, and now that affects certain things now. If there's a tiebreaker situation with Dallas, we're out the playoffs. Yeah, in other words, if it comes down to them having the same record as us in the end, we lose that. So it's like, and in our spot, in the 10th spot, that is the difference between making the play-in tournament or not. So our fate is outside of our hands and officially in that particular area. And then you look at how we defended them on Christmas Day. You look at how we defended them in the second matchup, making it so that Luka Doncic had the best opportunity to score the ball each and every time he wanted to over everybody who was small. Some of the most embarrassing games I've ever watched as a Laker fan. Christmas Day matchup, particularly. I felt like we were giving them those games. And so, here we are. Loserdom. Not being competitive in our nature, man. All of that reared its ugly head when it needed not to the most. Even with a different set of players, we still got some of those same traits. And why? Because the people in charge are still the same people in charge, and the head coach is still the same head coach, and the star players still the same star players. You know what I mean? Dennis Schroeder and them bad turnovers, some of these things that are still here. You know, and some of the shots he took. I don't know, Dennis, you were really aggressive, brother, but it seems to me that you're just not reacting well to being demoted to the bench. That's what I want to say about DS. I just think that was the wrong button to press with him, and now he's playing bad for his standards, and he's not adjusting well to the minutes or the rotations or who he's next to or whatever it is. It ain't working out. Dennis is somebody else for the worse. And I don't like it at all, man. At all. I don't necessarily blame him. I just think as coach, man, you can't certain things you just can't do. And when a player's playing the way that Dennis Schroeder was playing, I guess you can't bench him. I don't know. But I know you needed to bench D'Lo tonight. I know that much. Wasn't able to do that for whatever reason. And we lost off of his cold hand. Amongst other things as well. So, yeah, man, tough loss, Lakers. Tough season, but I tell you, and I don't say this with any relief, it's almost over. Oh, yes, it's almost over. BDO 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.